Hey everyone, and welcome back to my show. Um, Today I'm gonna talk about something that I talked about a while ago, and it's surrounding Charlamagne Tha God. And as many of you don't know, I'm actually related to him on my father's side. I actually have pretty serious connects to the celebrity world, not just Charlamagne, but others as well. Um, But I wanted to talk about it. I don't know why it crossed my mind again, um, about the whole Jessica Reed story and how she didn't receive justice. And it bothers me. I don't know why it's popped up on my mind. I don't know if maybe him or a relative ran across my page and maybe I saw something, but it just triggered me to want to come back and talk about Jessica Reed again and what happened to her. Um, Let me pull up my short stay so you guys can get the scenery of what I am talking about as I'm talking about it. They sure got it on an ugly day because this ain't a good picture, but anyway. And thank you so much, Muffin, for the super sticker. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, thank you. Um, and all of you guys on the replay, please make sure you hit that like button, double tap the screen, whatever. Okay? All right, y'all. Let me tell you all something. Most people know Charlamagne Tha God as the outspoken host from the Breakfast Club. He interviews celebrities, he interviews politicians, and he has built one of the biggest voices in radio and media. But what many people outside of South Carolina don't know is that long before the fame, long before the national spotlight, there was a story right here in Berkeley County that locals have been talking about and still talk about for years and more years to come. And tonight we're revisiting that story because there's something else about it that makes this conversation a little different for me. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Charlamagne, that is actually a cousin on my father's side. I have explained or showed you guys where the Warrens kind of come from up in Berkeley County. And on one side of the front part of 41, that's what they call the area, are the Warrens. That's my people. Right in the same street, going across, going down, you have the McLennans and the McKelveys. So I am a second cousin of the McKelveys on my father's side. Vibrant Boo. And I know there's a lot of other people live, but I wanted to make sure I come back and talk to y'all daily, regardless of what the conversation is about. And today I kind of just want to take it easy and talk about something that I'm familiar with. All right. And also, let me say a few other celebrity connections that I have. I've told the story a few times how I was almost Chloe and Haley auntie because I used to date their uncle. And I'm still very close with the family. Like me and the sister, we always talk. I still talk to Jody. Chloe and Haley's mom and dad were high school sweethearts, and they went to St. Stephen High School right along with me. So we all grew up together. And I remember them when they were in church. That's how they started off. Also, if I don't know if it was a year or two ago, um, Housewives of Atlanta, Courtney Rhodes. She is a very good friend of mine. I think she was only on there 1 year, and I hate the way they had her casted because she's not the way she was perceived while she was on the show. She's a very sweet girl. And there are many, many more, but we're going to talk about my dear cousin Charlamagne. Okay. Let me get the back details. So on my screen, you're seeing short stay recreational area or short stay beach. And this is right here in Monk's Corner, South Carolina. This is where the grape happened to Jessica. I just wanted you to be able to see what it looked like as I'm telling the story. So back in 2001, there was a party that took place near Short Stay Recreation Area. They do have a lot of parties out there, quite a bit, because I've been to several myself, stayed overnight. They had these little cabins you can rent out, but you have to own a military ID in order to rent these places out. But you could go grab a cousin, an uncle, whoever, just as long as they reserve it as being a person in the military. Okay. According to reports, a 15-year-old girl attended that party. Hold on, let me see what's coming up next. All right, give me a minute, y'all. Because I don't want this to play yet. Okay. All right, my bad. Okay, a 15-year-old girl attended that party. During the night, she reportedly became extremely intoxicated and disoriented. Hey, right to be boo. And right to be might be my dang cousin. Hmm. Later allegations claim she has been had been given alcohol and possibly drugs at some point during the night. She accused several men of actually assaulting her, and one of the men she named was Charlamagne. And I know a lot of people like discounted the story because nothing happened with it, but I am going to explain to you exactly what happened. And it's not because of the child, because that child wanted to proceed with pressing charges on him. The mother of Jessica sent her away, so the police couldn't get in touch with her and she couldn't be there for court. um, let's see. Now, hold on. All right. The accusation led to a police investigation in Berkeley County. Charlamagne was arrested and initially charged with criminal sexual conduct involving a minor. Investigators collected evidence and conducted interviews. DNA evidence was also collected during the investigation. I am going to start off with my video so you guys can get a better understanding before we further get into me talking. I think my dog is about to act a fool, y'all. That's why I'm so quiet. It's a beautiful day, so people are outside enjoying the weather. All right. This is a video I did a few years ago. In this video, I broke down the different people that were involved. I located them on Facebook, and you're going to see all that. So, situation with Jessica and her mother. I will be putting the links to these interviews in my description box, so you guys check them out, please. So most of y'all know that I am from South Carolina. I'm from a county called Berkeley County, which is Moncks Corner, South Carolina. But born and raised in Charleston, but I live here in Moncks Corner. I also raised up further down in Berkeley County in the Russellville 41 area, which I'm going to be going over that whole map and telling you why I'm telling you this. I also went to the same school as Charlamagne. I went to Berkeley High School as well as Macedonia and St. Stephen. The location in which the sexual assault took place with Jessica Reed was at a place called Short Stay Beach. I do not consider Short Stay a beach at all. It is not like Myrtle Beach, Isle of Palms. I don't know what to call it. A swimming hole. Shit. Anyways, as you can see on the map, I am like 10 minutes up the road from Short Stay currently. I live in Panopolis. I'm like surrounded by water and whatnot, but just about everybody down here is. Anyway, from where I live to get to Short Stay, you take 52 and you go up 52. Now, if you keep going up 52, you will get to the point to where Charlamagne people from. And I am actually late down the road cousins to the McKelveys. And they live in the 41 Russellville, St. Stephen area as well. Ignore that 4.8 star rating. I don't know who or what 20 people would give that place damn near 5 stars. I'm going to leave a review after this. Now, to get to Short Stay off of 52, there are a number of long ass dirt roads you got to take to get back there. It's, kind of spooky. It gives you off putting feelings if it's your first time back there, especially at night. And she actually talks about this and describes this in her Choke No Joke video. One thing about Short Stay Beach or Short Stay, whatever you want to call this place, you have to have a military pass to get on. However, anyone in your family with a military pass can actually call and reserve the place for you, and you just go and stay there. I have actually stayed there a few times myself. That's why I'm able to speak on what this place is. We're going to listen to a part of the interview with Jessica and Choke, where she is actually at Short Stay. So let's listen and see what she has to say. Please pay attention to the names she is calling, and I will review that after this.
Right now, we are at the Short Stay Villa in Moncks Corner. This is where everything took place on June
This is the victim,
2001.
Jessica Reed.
As you can see, in order to access the villa, you need a military pass. Someone by the name of Derek Major got the villa for Charlamagne that night. I know Charlamagne repeatedly says that this party was for a cousin of his named Kenta Palmer, but I was told from Charlamagne himself that this party was for him. It was his birthday. That's the only reason I came.
Okay, so I started doing some digging after hearing this, and we're going to play more of it. I'm going to let her own words play out. I want you guys to hear from her what happened that night. Anyways, you guys know I like to dig and I like to investigate. I found Kenta Palmer and I found Derek Major. I started my investigations by looking at his nonprofit group first, Third Eye Awareness. This group I am very familiar with. They come here every year to do a back to school giveaway. They have school supplies and book bags for the kids. They also have other Black businesses out there, giving out information as far as their business is concerned. They also cook food and give out food. However, no one around here really likes Charlamagne at all. Every year they usually have a drone flying over or someone going around asking, what do you think of Charlamagne? Or everyone say hello to say thank you, and no one will say anything. No one, no, we don't even think or care about like that here. So digging into the Third Eye Awareness Facebook page, I saw a familiar person there. I saw Kenta Palmer. Kenta Palmer actually goes by Roy Boy around here. He is co-founder with this organization with Charlamagne. Now, when it comes to Derek Major, I actually found two different Derek Majors. One I have 6 mutual friends with, and the other one has the name Derek Larry Major. And that brings me back to 2 more names that were called during all of this, the names Larry and Boo. Now, let's go back to Jessica's story. I want you to hear in her own words what happened that night. I'm putting up my trigger. I told y'all I'd be digging. I done found the other people involved in the story. Now, warning again, please click off if you feel like you're going to. Right, yes, this is very triggering to watch and to hear. So if you are easily triggered, you go ahead and click off now because this is going to trigger you. Be triggered by this story.
Villa number 30. This is where the party was. Me and Malika walked into the party with Charlamagne, his friends and cousins. Whew. I do not want to tell that story again. I don't even want to do bits and pieces of it. Fucking over it. Malika and I sat down and Charlamagne asked us if we wanted something to drink. Malika took a drink, but I told him I was fine. I didn't want to drink. But it's like he kept pressuring me to drink. He was like, this is where Charlamagne gave Malika and I the drinks. He himself made those drinks. He told me that I could trust him. I was like his sister. He would let nothing happen to me that night. He repeatedly asked me over and over and over if I wanted to drink. And even after telling him no several times, he still pressured me. I finally took a drink. Now, mind you, I'm 15 years old. I'm a child. I'm a minor. I'm being pressured into drinking by someone who I thought I could trust. I let my guards down. And I said, you know what? This is my friend. He won't let anything happen to me. And he betrayed me. He allowed his friends or cousins or whoever those guys were to take advantage of me. And he himself took advantage of me as well. He brought me here and left me here.
All right, good evening.
Let me tell you something, Judy. Everybody down here believes her. That's why no one respects Charlamagne. Even though, he comes down here, he donates, he runs nonprofits. We don't respect him because we know what he did. Yeah. Yeah, it's really sad. She even did an interview with Tasha K, and that interview was amazing. I couldn't find it on YouTube though, so I had to use my old interviews.
This is the Star Report. My name is Star. I'm your host, and I have Malika Joyner on the line with me, the friend and relative of Jessica Reed, who was indeed raped in 2001 in South Carolina at a party where Leonard McKelvey, also known as Charlamagne, did take a plea to contributing to the delinquency of a minor. But Malika, you have come forward. You contacted me, and you want to tell. Yeah. You want to tell what you saw? I mean, let's just get right to it. What did you see that...
Well, okay, we can get right to it. We were offered drinks. There was something in the drink.
He went in the kitchen, made a drink for me. I took the drink and I sat next to Malika and I was drinking my drink and she was just about done with hers. She just, out of the blue, started throwing up. And the funny thing about it was, after she was throwing up, he kept asking her or trying to give her more drinks. And she was like, you know, I can't drink anymore.
You know, because I didn't know who he was, you know, on the radio. That was my first time ever meeting him. I was introduced through Jessica. I knew nothing about him. I was basically going there. She asked me if I would like to go with her. So I said, yeah, I'll go with you, right. You know. So I didn't know him at all prior to this event occurring. I didn't know who he was.
I sat my cup down and I just said, okay, I started feeling weird. And I said, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. This is what I told myself. And when I got up to go to the bathroom, I fell to the floor. I couldn't.
Okay, remember the people that I looked up before I started playing this part of the video? Kenta Palmer. Those are the people involved in this. I showed you guys their Facebook pages, which is public. So there's that.
Move my legs. I couldn't move my arms. It's like I had no control over my limbs. I could see and I could hear, but I couldn't move.
I have a story to tell about that.
I heard the guys in the back and they were laughing.
Khadijah.
And Charlamagne was laughing. And he told them to take me upstairs. Taken upstairs by two guys, one named Larry and one named Boo, who took me into a bathroom and violated me and took advantage of me. Charlamagne allowed these guys to take me upstairs. In fact, he told them to take me upstairs after giving me a drink with a drug in it. I got up off the couch and I couldn't even move. I collapsed to the floor and all he could do was laugh. He didn't ask if I was okay. He didn't help me up. He laughed. So he took me upstairs and then he took me into the bathroom.
I did see two people escort her upstairs, but like I said, I myself was I was throwing up and so forth. I was out of it too, but I was still able to know what was, you know, able to see and hear what was going on. But it was like everything for me was slow motion. But she was escorted up, up the stairs with two gentlemen.
Okay. They took me upstairs and took me into the bathroom. And I don't know if I can do this. They took me upstairs and took me into the bathroom. And they had my arms like this. One was here and one was here. And they were holding me up because I couldn't hold myself up. And I had a dress on. I had one arm like this and Larry was holding me up. And Boo had this other arm. But with his other hand, he was just forcing his fingers in my vagina. And I was just sitting there helpless. I couldn't do nothing. I cannot do this.
At any point, were you in the room together with Jessica when she was being raped, or were you in another room and you came in? How did that play out?
No, she was upstairs. I was downstairs.
Okay.
When they were finished, they just left me in the bathroom and I fell to the floor. And I was just laying on the floor crying. I was just laying there. And then somebody came into the bathroom, picked me up, and put me in the bedroom. Left me in the bedroom, closed the door behind them. I don't know how long I was laying there for, but Larry ended up coming in the bedroom. He came in, he got on the bed, and he started to rub his penis on my body. And all I could do at the time was just try to roll around on the bed. And I was rolling until I eventually fell off the bed. I don't know. I don't even know how I got back onto the bed. I don't even know. But he left. And then Charlamagne came into the room. And I saw Charlamagne's face with my own eyes. When he opened that door, I saw his face. I saw his face. I heard his voice while he was raping me. There's nothing that nobody can say. And started taking off my clothes. And started talking to me in the process. And he kept saying things like, I told you I was going to take care of you and nothing was going to happen to you.
I'm going to try to pull up his records live after the video.
But because I was throwing up, I was still coherent. I was still able to, I was still aware of my surroundings. So
Okay.
He couldn't really, he gave up me, he was kissing on me, trying to unbutton my shirt. I was determined, that was not going to happen. And in the process of him not being able to sexually, come on to me the way he wanted to, because I was still able to, I was still able to know what's going on, then that's, where Jessica, he went to Jessica.
I told you I was going to take care of you. And nothing's going to happen to you. This is Charlamagne. And he just kept going on and on. And then he started kissing me and he started kissing me. The whole time he's doing all of these things, I was there crying. That's why it's so hard. Like, as I'm saying it, it's replaying in my head and I can see it happening. I'm sitting there crying and he tries to shush me. And then he performs oral sex on me. And then he rapes me. And I was trying to move, but I don't know, he was heavy. And it was like nothing I could do.
I was downstairs when Jessica went upstairs to the bathroom, and she was gone quite a while. At that time, I was throwing up and so forth. It took me quite a bit of time to get to her. But what made me get up to get to her, not even that she was gone for so long, but I heard yelling and screaming, a lot of noise, and like something wasn't right. So that's what made me get up to go find Jessica. And in the process of me finding Jessica, I did see Charlamagne on top of Jessica, and Jessica was very hysterical. Oh gosh, it was horrible.
I was laying on the bed with no clothes on, and I remember somebody opening the door.
Okay, so you went upstairs and you had to push your way into the room, or the door was open? What?
No, the door was closed. It was not open whatsoever. I had to literally get in. I don't know how, but I mustered up the energy to get in that room.
Okay.
And like I said, I did see Charlamagne on top of Jessica. And in the process, because it was more of a shock, like, how did she get in here? You know, he jumped off her and proceed to run out.
Mm-hmm. So when you came into the room and you claimed that you...
Jessica was hysterical. She was yelling and screaming. I'm trying to figure out, you know, I'm just in shock because I couldn't believe what I saw. Mm-hmm. Like, I was really like, oh my gosh, you know, like, she was, and I'm trying to calm her down and just be there for her. And she had no clothes on. It was horrible. You know, she was yelling, screaming, saying they raped me, they touched me, you know, and it was, wow, it was a lot to take on.
So when you came into the room, did you see, I'm sorry, when you came into the room, did you see Charlamagne's pants down, or did you see him naked? What was...
His pants was down. Yes, his pants was down. When he jumped up, he pulled everything up.
Okay.
And ran out the room.
And then Malika staggered in, and she was asking me where my clothes were. And I told her I didn't know. I told her I didn't know where they were. And then, I don't know, it was weird. I told her I didn't know where my clothes were. And then Larry. No, excuse me. I told her I didn't know what my clothes were. And I think I started yelling or something. And Larry told me to shut the fuck up before he kicked me in the head. And I was like, where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? And he said, Larry said, ain't nobody do nothing to you. You just acting crazy for no reason. And I just kept saying, where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? I just started screaming. And then when I started screaming, everybody ran. Everybody left. Everybody left. I wasn't in any shape to call the police or speak to the police. I don't know how they were called. I know Malika and I ended up downstairs outside of the villa in the front, and we were just sitting out there in the dark. And then a black car pulled up and asked us if we were okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I think either he called or Malika called. I'm not sure who called the police, but someone called the police because we went to the hospital that night.
I'm the one that called her mother, her brother.
Yes, you do look
got
alike.
the EMS out there. You know, I was the one that was there with her, so she wasn't by herself.
So right now we're at Somerville Medical Center. After the incident took place at the villa, the emergency room picked up me and Malika, and this is where they brought us.
And let me say this, the unfortunate part of all of this, because the mother was not cooperating, you got to remember, this young lady at the time was 15. And because her mother was not cooperating, that is why Charlamagne is who he is today, free. If they would have cooperated, he would not be Charlamagne Tha God, quote unquote.
When I arrived here, my mother was here, my brother was here, and also a friend of the family who was actually the chaplain that night. Her name is Betty Broomfield. They were.
Now let's get to why I think the mother needs to make this list. If it was not for Joycelyn, this case probably would have gone on to court. He would have been prosecuted for the predator that he is. He would have probably had jail time. He would not be Charlamagne Tha God today. But instead, the mother, took her 15-year-old daughter and sends her to go stay with the uncle. So therefore, she was not able to be cooperative with the police. And actually, that's why Charlamagne got a lesser charge. The police said that the victim and the mother were uncooperative. The victim is only 15. There's nothing really she can do. The mother is going to have to step up and take charge of the situation, take charge and make sure her daughter is there for the investigators to question, for them to get ready for court. The mom didn't do any of these things. She sent her away instead. And, I try to understand. I'm not going to say I kind of understand. I try to understand the position of this mother. Just like the other mother, she too has mental health issues. She too, went through an assault herself. But it's still not a Picking up another reason. story.
Get help for your kid. Charlamagne even admitted in 2015 that he gave a woman Spanish fly and had intercourse with her while she was unconscious.
South Carolina, I got this girl real drunk, and
that sentence sounds a little fishy. I got her drunk.
I didn't just get her drunk. I remember I went to the sex store and got Spanish fly.
Oh, so you raped her?
Shut up. Spanish fly. They sell it in the sex store. I'm telling the truth. They sell it in the Spanish store. I had to fucking.
They sell knives at the store too. You could put that to a girl's throat and have sex with it. That doesn't mean it's illegal.
So I put the Spanish fly in the E&J. We drinking the E&J and shit. So in my mind, I don't know if this shit really worked, but I felt like I got horny as a motherfucker too. Right? So she was drunk and shit, and we had sex and shit, and like a lot of my boys was trying to come in the room and fuck her. I'm like, nah, chill out. I can't. I'm not doing that. And I'm like, but you're on the train on it. That's rape.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right? So
if it's just one-on-one, it ain't rape.
Yeah. So the next
trains are rape.
So the next morning she wakes up. And we talk about it.
People were trying to say that the case was dismissed because the DNA showed that it was from another man. Another man was the one who raped Jessica, but that is not the case. The DNA wasn't of another man. It was just no DNA present. Also, they gave him a plea because they had to give him something. So he got off with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. And this man is a rapist. He needs to be on someone's sex offender list, not a celebrity, not out here as an influence to the youth and providing back to the community. Bravo for that, but sir, come on. These three individuals who were all in a position of power one way or another at the time of these offenses, they all three need to be prosecuted in some sort of way. Justice needs to happen for these children and these adults. Hurt people hurting people. It's just disgusting ass behavior. Now these victims suffer with mental health issues, disorders. They're suffering every single day.
Now let me find the mother, because she does feel bad, But before we get into the mother's story, let me tell y'all my story. And I'm really opening up. I have been an open book ever since I've been on this platform. But there are two really strong stories three in my life. I shared one, but the other two I haven't been able to share. I have shared with my friends and, people I talked to. Sylvie, Judy, Patchy, they know the details of what I'm about to talk about. But I used to go to Berkeley High School too, and I hated it there. hated it there. The people did not like me. I did not fit in. And this is when I was in the 9th grade. And because of that, I would cut school every day and I would drink and just hang out in bandos until the end of the school day. So, you know, anytime an opportunity came up for me to cut school, I took it. Unapologetically, I took it. I didn't want to be there. People hated me just for no reason. So there's this older guy that came up to me and was like, yo, we're having a party. The name of the apartments is Northbridge, at Northbridge Apartments. Come on and hang out with us. And I said, all right, that's fine. I'll come through. So a car comes through and picks me up about 15 minutes later. I get to the apartment. It's just me, this other girl that was in the car with me, her boyfriend, and the guy that invited me. Now, at the time, I was dating a female. My first love was a female. So I'm at this party and I'm like, where is everybody else? I thought so-and-so and so-and-so was supposed to be here too. And he was like, oh, they're coming. They're coming. So just, you know, relax, take a drink until they get here. And I did that. It was actually like gin and juice. That's what it was supposed to be. Now, you gotta remember, I was cutting school every day, drinking like Mad Dog and Wild Irish Rose and all them other things. I was drinking that daily to escape my current pain because at that time I was in foster care. And everybody knows what I went to foster care for. Everybody knows what my father did to me. So like I said, I'm in foster care. I don't fit in. I'm cutting school every day. So this was another opportunity. I had transportation. I can get to Northbridge Apartments. McDonald's is across the street. I know I can get home. So anyways, I got the gin and juice and one drink. And I went blank. There was nothing really I could remember after that but saying, I don't feel good. I need to lay down. Well, when I came to, I was unclothed and in a bed, and the sheets had blood on it. Me being ashamed, I hurried up and got myself together. I ran out of there because I was late getting home, and I didn't want to experience the punishment from that because this lady was just horrible. Her daughter was actually grooming me. So I try to tell what happened. And she called social services, and all they did was remove me from the home. Plus, I had pulled a knife on her because she slapped me. So I threatened to unalive her, like I snapped. After all the abuse I went through, you're going to slap me? You're going to try to humiliate me? That's why I don't allow people today to play in my face and humiliate me. Hey, Micah Boo. Hey, doll baby. You're not going to do that to me. That's why I was so hard on Barbara. Anyways, after all of that, and when I get moved to another home, you know, I'm no longer in Berkeley High School, but I'm not feeling well. And me not really knowing my body like I should because I didn't have a mother around. By the time I got to the doctor, I was 5 months pregnant with my abuser's child. Because I was in foster care and I was so alone, I vowed that, you know, that baby was going to stay with me no matter what. And I love my girl. That's my chocolate twin, y'all. Oh, she's so pretty. Beautiful girl. And I thank God for her. Because there's no telling where I would be if she wasn't in my life. I was suicidal. attempted it on a few occasions, like my life was pure hell. And one day I'll come back and tell everything and put it all together. But this, I wanted to keep it to myself because I don't want my daughter to be looked at differently because of how she came into this world. But she is my blessing and my oldest and my virtual twin baby. Now I want to look at the mother story, okay?
Rico and I were hanging out. He told me he had some business to take care of and he had to stop by the radio station.
Now, this is going to be more detailed. The video I played was chopped up and I was giving commentary. Let's listen to this video, okay? And I'm proud of my baby. Hold on, let me say this. My baby is smart just like her mother. Very smart girl. She's a teacher. And she's so freaking beautiful and amazing. Yes. That's beautiful, doll baby.
Jocelyn Sullivan.
We need more people
and I
like
am the
you.
mother of Jessica Nicole Reed. We're out here in Mounts Corner, just left the Berkeley County Sheriff's Department, speaking with detectives. The case of McCalvey, my daughter Jessica Reed. I have regrets in which I am very sorry about, because when my daughter was drugged and raped, I wanted to do nothing but protect her. I didn't want her to suffer anymore. I didn't want her to feel that pain anymore. And so I did not let her testify. And because of that, today we are finding out that Mr. McCalvey is going to get away with what he did to my daughter, Jessica, and this family. For all these years, we've been suffering, going
Now,
through
hold on.
pain.
She pisses me off. She pisses me off. Yes, he needed to be punished, but where is your accountability, ma'am, in this? You sent, hey, Daquan, you sent your daughter away. And when she was sent away, y'all, she was violated again. She sent her daughter away to keep her from talking to the police. So she's really pissing me off. Yeah, I believe everything Jessica said. You could see it in her body language.
In anguish over his decisions, molest my daughter, rape her. And now she has to deal with this and we have to deal with this. And I'm so sorry that I didn't take the initiative then to persecute him for what he did to my daughter. I'm sorry. He came to our home.
That part, doll baby.
He acted as if he was going to be a friend to us.
No accountability.
He came to us and said, "Don't worry, nothing's going to happen to her. And I'll make sure that she'll be safe." He eluded us to believe and trust in him. And then he turns around and violates my daughter by raping and drugging her. And then he gets away with it. When I made the decision not for my daughter to testify, I was focused on her well-being, and I wanted the best for her. I didn't want to put her in a stand to relive all of that pain and suffering.
Okay, I'm confused. Are y'all not confused? She wants the best for her. So she sends her away, but she wants Leonard McKelvey, Charlamagne Tha God, prosecuted. She doesn't make any sense. And Darby, I agree, she's just doing way too much. Way too much.
And now, 17 years later,
Where's the
because
tears?
he continues
What?
to make mockery about it, joke and laugh about it, like
Where's the
it
tears?
doesn't even matter to him, or he has no regrets or anything. Then he tries to cover it up with his money and his high-class attorneys.
No tears.
And now he's not going to be punished for it. Justice is not fair, and we will not stop fighting. We will fight for justice and closure for my daughter Jessica and this family. According to the detectives, because he negotiated a plea deal, he cannot be prosecuted for the rape charge. So
And let me tell you this. They did that. They wanted to charge him. They were trying to get the girl there to testify, so they wound up giving him a plea. But all of this is her fault. She's over here making all this noise and no tears are falling.
what they did was just dismiss it. They
Hey,
didn't even
Cable.
prosecute the rape charge because my daughter wasn't there. And so they let him plead. DNA did not clear him innocent. DNA has nothing to do with it at all.
Right, Patch.
He's guilty no matter what anyone says. 17 years later, she's still suffering from it. We're still suffering.
I'm going to say I definitely believe Jessica. Definitely, because this has been talked about a lot down here. Like, I know these people involved. I know Kenta Palmer. I know all of them. And I'm telling you, nobody likes Charlamagne down here. Not a soul. We know what he did.
Her from it. And justice needs to be served regardless. He deserves to be punished for what he did.
Hello, my name is Jessica Reed. I'm 32 years old. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I left New York when I was 6 years old after my father passed away. We moved to Charleston, South Carolina, lived there for about 5 years, and we moved to Somerville and lived there for 2 years. Today, I'm here to talk about what happened in June 2001. A lot of you have heard Charlamagne's story, but today I'm here to set the record straight about what really happened that night.
Hey, Muffy.
I met Charlamagne through a mutual friend. His name is Rico. I met Rico through my best friend. Her name is Shaniqua Epps. The night I met Charlamagne, Rico and I were hanging out. He told me he had some business to take care of and he had to stop by the radio station, Z93. So where I'm at right now, standing right in front of what used to be Z93 radio station, here is where I met Charlamagne. Like I said previously, I was introduced to him by Rico, who was a mutual friend of both Charlamagne and mine. Charlamagne worked at the time as a radio DJ. He introduced us. Rico introduced Charlamagne and I. I sat down. Rico and Charlamagne were discussing music. I kind of sat back while they talked. We left the station, and about 2 days later, Charlamagne called me. I'm not sure how he got my number because I didn't give it to him, but I'm assuming that Rico gave him my number. At the time I met Charlamagne, I was 15 years old. He told me he was 20. Just finding out recently, he was actually 22 years old at the time. Our relationship was strictly platonic. We were friends and only friends. We are at Tree Haven Apartments. This is where Charlamagne came to meet my mom for the first time. Came upstairs to this apartment here to my left, came to meet my mother, spoke to her, introduced himself. And on that day, he took me and my best friend out to lunch to a Chinese buffet. I knew him about maybe, I want to say a month and a half before the incident.
He also, during that time when he introduced himself to me, he said that he would watch over them, promised that they would be fine, and I had nothing to worry about, that they would be safe with him. He came off like he was a brother to a sister kind of relationship. And I trusted this person and allowed my daughter and her friend to go and have lunch at that time. I did not know, and I want to stress it very clearly, I did not know his age at that time. I just figured that he was a friend, hang around friend, possibly even high school. So yes, he did come and he did assure me that my daughter and her girlfriend would be safe with him.
So the second time Charlamagne came to my home, I wasn't here. I'm not sure where I was, but my brother answered the door, told Charlamagne I wasn't here. And that was the second occasion. The third occasion was the day of the party. Charlamagne called me one day and told me he was having a party, a beach party, and invited me to the beach party. Initially, I said no, but then he said the party was actually for him. It was his birthday. And he said, you know, you're like my sister. You have to be there. And I told him, I said, okay. Give me a second. So he told me it was his birthday party and I had to be there. He said, you're like my sister. I want you to come. And I told him, I said, okay, I would come. So I called my best friend and I asked her if she wanted to go. And she said that she would think about it. She got back to me and said she couldn't go. So I asked my brother's girlfriend at the time, her name is Malika Joyner.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. Give me a minute.
This alleged birthday party. There were a few guys in the truck and one guy in the sports car. They picked us up late afternoon. Malika and I got into the vehicles. We left. From there, we went to his father's house. Once we got there, I met his father, and there was a few other people there, which I believe were his family members. And they were sitting in there watching TV. We sat there for a while. We left his parents' house and got into the vehicles and drove to, I believe it was a gas station. At the gas station, Malika called my mom to check in to let her know we were okay. I believe Charlamagne and someone else got out and went inside the gas station, came back into the vehicles, and then we drove to the villa. Once we got there, went inside. Give me a minute. Right now, we are at the Short Stay Villa in Mox Corner. This is where everything took place on June 2001. As you can see, in order to access the villa, you need a military pass. Someone by the name of Derek Major got the villa for Charlamagne that night. I know Charlamagne repeatedly says that this party was for a cousin of his named Kenta Palmer, but I was told from Charlamagne himself that this party was for him. It was his birthday. That's the only reason I came. The first thing I noticed is there were just a whole bunch of guys there. I think there were two other females, but they were in the back outside, and I could see them through the sliding door. But
she's
majority
finished, we're going to look up the cases.
Villa number 30. This is where the party was. Me and Malika walked into the party with Charlamagne, his friends and cousins. I do not want to tell that story again. I don't even want to do bits and pieces of it. Fucking over it. Malika and I sat down and Charlamagne asked us if we wanted something to drink. Malika took a drink, but I told him I was fine. I didn't want to drink. But it's like he kept pressuring me to drink. He was like, this is where Charlamagne gave Malika and I the drinks. He himself made those drinks. He told me that I could trust him. I was like his sister. He would let nothing happen to me that night. He repeatedly asked me over and over and over if I wanted to drink. And even after telling him no several times, he still pressured me. I finally took a drink. Now, mind you, I'm 15 years old. I'm a child. I'm a minor. I'm being pressured into drinking by someone who I thought I could trust. I let my guards down. And I said, you know what? This is my friend. He won't let
That's where
anything
I'm
happen
living
to
right
me.
now in Monk's Corner.
And he betrayed me. He allowed his friends or cousins or whoever those guys were to take advantage of me. And he himself took advantage of me as well. He brought me here and left me here.
All right, good evening. This is the Star Report. My name is Star. I'm your host, and I have Malika Joyner on the line with me, the friend and relative of Jessica Reed, who was indeed raped in 2001 in South Carolina at a
Fast
party
forward,
where
as you've
Leonard
seen this.
McKelvey, also known.
Hold on. Come on, Daddy.
It's my first time ever meeting him. I was introduced.
I don't want y'all to get bored.
So I heard the guys in the back and they were laughing, and Charlamagne was laughing. And he told them to take me upstairs. Taken upstairs by two guys, one named Larry and one named Boo, who took me into a bathroom and violated me and took advantage of me. Charlamagne allowed these guys to take me upstairs. In fact, he told them to take me upstairs after giving me a drink with a drug in it. I got up off the couch and I couldn't even move. I collapsed to the floor, and all he could do was laugh. He didn't ask if I was okay. He didn't help me up. He laughed. So he took me upstairs, and then he took me into the bathroom.
I did see two people escort her upstairs, but like I said, I myself was I was throwing up and so forth. I was out of it too, but I was still able to know what was, able to see and hear what was going on. But it was like everything for me was slow motion. But she was escorted up the stairs with two gentlemen.
Okay. They took me upstairs and took me into the bathroom. And I don't know if I can do this. They took me upstairs and took me into the bathroom. And they had my arms like this. One was here and one was here. And they were holding me up because I couldn't hold myself up. And I had a dress on. I had one arm like this, and Larry was holding me up. And Boo had this other arm, but with his other hand, he was just forcing his fingers in my vagina. And I was just sitting there helpless. I couldn't do nothing. I cannot do this.
At any point, were you in the room together with Jessica when she was being raped, or were you in another room and you came in? How did that play out?
No, she was upstairs. I was downstairs.
Okay.
When they were finished, they just left me in the bathroom and I fell to the floor. And I was just laying on the floor crying. I was just laying there. And then somebody came into the bathroom, picked me up, and put me in the bedroom. Left me in the bedroom, closed the door behind them. I don't know how long I was laying there for, but Larry ended up coming in the bedroom. He came in, he got on the bed, and he started to rub his penis on my body. And all I could do at the time was just try to roll around on the bed. And I was rolling until I eventually fell off the bed. I don't know. I don't even know how I got back onto the bed. I don't even know. But he left. And then Charlamagne came into the room. And I saw Charlamagne's face with my own eyes. When he opened that door, I saw his face. I saw his face. I heard his voice while he was raping me. There's nothing that nobody can say. And started taking off my clothes. And started talking to me in the process. And he kept saying things like, I told you I was going to take care of you and nothing was going to happen to you.
But because I was throwing up, I was still coherent. I was still able to, I was still aware of my surroundings. So he couldn't really, he gave up with me, he was kissing on me, trying to unbutton my shirt. I was determined, that was not going to happen. And in the process of him not being able to sexually, come on to me the way he wanted to, because I was still able to, I was still able to know what's going on, then that's, where Jessica, he went to Jessica.
I told you I was going to take care of you. And nothing's going to happen to you. This is Charlamagne. And he just kept going on and on. And then he started kissing me and
Now, Gary, I was looking for you the other day, Gary. And you popping up in here talking about Biden today. You were supposed to be here, was it yesterday? Whichever day I did the update, you supposed to be here then. Where were you, Gary? Because I was looking for you. Mm-hmm.
started kissing me.
Hey, barn dog. I know, Gary. I was kidding too.
He started kissing me.
But I was looking for you yesterday, for
The
real.
whole time he's doing all of these things, I was there crying. That's why it's so hard. Like, as I'm saying it, it's replaying in my head, and I can see it happening. He was kissing me everywhere.
Gary, do you? I'm sure you do know. You know Charlamagne Tha God, right? Well, I'm actually a second cousin of Charlamagne. So I kind of wanted to come and bring this story back out because no one down here in South Carolina respects him. We all know what he did, but this is his victim, Jessica Reed. She was 15 years old when he raped her. So that's what we're reviewing, that case. Because I actually know this man. Yeah, Gary plays around a lot. Gary was supposed to be here the other day, and he ain't been here. But I live in Monk's Corner now, Gary, where all this took place.
Laying there crying, and he's like trying to shush me.
But yes, big fuck Biden, no.
He's trying to shush me.
And earlier in my life, because nothing happened to the other two guys. Nothing happened to them at all. But Gary, if you go back to the earlier part of my life, I showed who the other men were that was involved in this situation, this rape of Jessica Reed. Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there crying, and he tries to shush me. And then he performs oral sex on me.
Charles, baby. I'm gonna get you proud now. Absolutely.
And then he rapes me. And I was trying to move, but I don't know, he was heavy. And it was like nothing I could do.
I was downstairs when Jessica went upstairs to the bathroom, and she was gone quite a while. At that time, I was throwing up and so forth, so it took me quite a bit of time to get to her. But what made me get up to get to her, not even that she was gone for so long, but I heard yelling and screaming, a lot of noise, and like something wasn't right. So that's what made me get up to go find Jessica. And in the process of me finding Jessica, I did see Charlamagne on top of Jessica, and Jessica was very hysterical. Oh gosh, it was horrible.
I was laying on the bed with no clothes on, and I remember somebody opening the door.
Okay, so you went upstairs and you had to push your way into the room, or the door was open? What?
No, the door was closed. It was not open whatsoever. I had to literally get in. I don't know how, but I mustered up the energy to get in that room.
Okay.
And like I said, I did see Charlamagne on top of Jessica. And in the process, because it was more of a shock, like, how did she get in here? You know, he jumped off her and proceed to run out.
Mm-hmm. So when you came into the room and you claimed that you...
Jessica was hysterical. She was yelling and screaming.
That is the sister-in-law. I can't remember if she married Jessica's brother or was just a girlfriend and they had a baby together, but Malika is technically the sister-in-law. She went with her because Jessica was only 15. And the mom was like, you need to have like an adult to go with you.
Freeman, I'm trying to figure out, you know, I'm just in shock because I couldn't believe what I saw. Like, I was really like, oh my gosh, you know, like this, she was, and I'm trying to calm her down and just be there for her. And she had no clothes on. It was horrible. You know, she was yelling, screaming, saying they raped me, they touched me, you know, and it was, wow, it was a lot to take on.
So when you came into the room, did you see, I'm sorry, when you came into the room, did you see Charlamagne's pants down or did you see him naked? What was
his pants was down? Yes, his pants was down. When he jumped up, he pulled everything up.
Okay.
And ran out the room.
And then Malika staggered in and she was asking me where my clothes were. And I told her I didn't know. I told her I didn't know where they were. And then, I don't know, it was weird. I told her I didn't know where my clothes were. And then Larry. No, excuse me. I told her I didn't know what my clothes were.
Let me pause and tell you the other part of my situation, because I really feel like some of these adults need to be held accountable. With my situation, the apartment that I went to have the quote unquote party belonged to one of the bus drivers for Berkeley County. She was a woman and all the people would go over there and party at her house. I can't remember her name, but she was a younger bus driver. Yeah. And that happened in her home.
I think I
They like
started
to cover stuff up down here.
yelling or something. And Larry told me to shut the fuck up before he kicked me in the head. And I was like, where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? And Larry said, ain't nobody do nothing to you. You just acting crazy for no reason. And I just kept saying, where's my clothes? Where's my clothes? I just started screaming. And then when I started screaming, everybody ran. Everybody left. Everybody left.
Small world, Shauna. I'm right here by the big
I
lots.
wasn't in any shape to call the police or
In the
speak to the
projects.
police. I don't know how they were called. I know Malika and I ended up downstairs outside of the villa in the front, and we were just sitting out there in the dark. And then a black car pulled up and asked us if we were okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I think either he called or Malika called. I'm not sure who called the police, but someone called the police because we went to the hospital that night.
I'm the one that called her mother, her brother. We got the EMS out there. You know, I was the one that was there with her, so she wasn't by herself.
So right now we're at Somerville Medical Center. After the incident took place at the villa, the emergency room picked up me and Malika, and this is where they brought us. When I arrived here, my mother was here, my brother was here, and also a friend of the family who was actually the chaplain that night. Her name is Betty Broomfield. They were here.
Early morning, I received a phone call, and I could hear Jessica screaming in the background. Malika
I can't stand this lady at this
talked on the
point.
phone, and she did not know exactly where they were. Someone stopped and let them use their cell phone so that they can contact me. Immediately, I called 911 to have someone dispatched over to where the incident occurred. I stayed on the phone until I heard from an ambulance technician to tell me where they were taking my daughter Jessica Reed and Malika Joyner. They informed me.
And I wanted to
that
bring this
they-
to for awareness. I'm sure she's not the only mother that has done something like this. You got to be aware of the things that you do because it will affect your children later on. So I mainly want to bring awareness. And plus, I don't think anyone has heard the full and complete story.
We're going to take them to Somerville Medical Center. Me and family rushed to the hospital only to see my daughter lying on the emergency bed, screaming, traumatized, and in shock. It was one of the worst days of my life. And the family was so upset to see her in that type of position.
Charlamagne did not come to the hospital. Charlamagne did not call me the day after. I had never heard from Charlamagne again after that night. And he's the one who invited me to the party. He's the one who took me to the party. And he left me there.
If you're so innocent and you didn't do anything, why didn't you pick up the phone and call somebody? Why didn't you ask, hey, is Jessica okay? You brought me to that party. You never picked up the phone to call. You never stopped by my house to check on me because you knew you were guilty. You knew what you had done.
Don't be so naive. You don't know who this man is. You didn't know who he was back then. Don't believe everything you hear. Look at the facts. Listen to him tell his story. It makes no sense at all.
Mm-mm.
This man picked me up. We had a relationship, first of all. And he's done a few interviews where he claimed he didn't even know who I was. Ask questions. He picked me up, took me to a party, and abandoned me.
What happened
That's
after that incident took place? Did you ever see Charlamagne again?
No, it took a toll on her family. It was very hard on everybody, even the relationship between me and her brother. It just affected us in so many ways. And recently, once that happened, it was horrible. We ended up moving. We all relocated, shortly after the incident has happened. And then once me and her brother was not able to, work things out due to this horrible event,
Nightmare.
I relocated and moved on with my life.
Yeah. So now, after this rape occurred with Jessica, and you're saying, Charlamagne, I'm not putting this on him, but these are your statements. And I would imagine Moncks Corner is a small town. How awkward was it for you guys to live there and to hear him on the radio?
It was really hard, I don't see how someone can do that and then act like nothing happened.
There's so much hate that I have for him. And I shouldn't say that. But there's so much of me that hates that man because my life.
Yes, Patch, I'm looking for it right now, actually. That's why I'm quiet.
Never. And I don't know if I'll ever be the same. I turn on the radio, I hear your voice. I turn on TV, I see your face. I've been in counseling on and off for 5 to 6 years. Medication, anxiety attacks, depression, all because of you. And now you want to portray me as some groupie, some girl who you didn't know, you just invited me to a party. No. Say my name. You know me. You know how we met. You called my house. You met my mom. You met my brother. You picked me up, took me out to lunch. You called me your little sister. We had a friendship. And you lied. The same way you lying to all these people. You're not innocent, and you know you're not innocent. I don't even know how you sleep at night. But it's not over. It's not over. Just know that. I'm going to keep speaking. I'm going to get my justice. The truth is going to be revealed. This is not over.
My dog is snoring. Sorry, y'all.
So, due to the fact that I was a minor, only 15 when everything happened, my mom thought it was best that I did not take the stand and testify against Charlamagne. I wanted to, I was willing, I was ready. I wanted to speak and I wanted to tell the truth and I wanted him to pay for what he did. But know that the only reason he is where he is today is because I was not able to speak. And I really wish I could have spoken. It's not getting better for me. To have to see someone who violated you every day on TV, going on with his life like nothing ever happened. Like that part of his life never happened. And I'm here suffering every single day. I know what I know, and I know my truth, and I will stand by that until the day I die. This isn't about money for me. This is about justice. It's about closure. It's about being able to move on with my life. I've made it very clear I want nothing from this man. No amount of money he gives me is going to give me back what he took. Mentally, emotionally, I have never been the same. He has never acknowledged me. He's gotten on his radio show and said he's praying for the victim and her family, as if he doesn't know who I am. He knows who I am. He knows me very well. He knows what happened that night. And no matter how much you try to cover it up, the truth is going to come out. I promise you. People can see through your lies. Nobody believes you. People can see it. I want to take this time to thank everyone who supported me so far. I want to take the time to thank those who have given me a platform to speak. As you have seen, not too many people have reached out to me. A lot of the main outlets wouldn't even
I'm trying to upload something for y'all.
Until Charlamagne said something about it. As disappointing as that is, I still have to keep moving forward and appreciate those who have given me a platform to tell my story. A lot of people have reached out to me and shared their sexual assault stories. And I want to say that I believe you. I stand with you. And thank you. It's not easy talking about what has happened to you. It's not easy coming out and having people scrutinize you.
Hey, Shaker
and say you
Chicker.
have hidden agendas when you know deep down in your heart that all you want to do is move on with your life. All you want is justice. So I thank everyone who has supported me.
I absolutely 100% believe her. Now let's move over here to the records. I'm going to show you how I got to it. Let me make sure it pulls up. And let me get the numbers. Okay. So this is South Carolina's case search website. Berkeley County, Moncks Corner is 29461. And it's going to take you into this page here. Make sure. Okay, hold on. I got to share this. I'm waiting for it to come up. All right, I'm just going to put in basic information because it doesn't take. I already have a case number. That's one of them. But I want to pull up all the cases, so I'm going to remove that case number. And see if I can't get all of them. Oh, shit. Party defendant. All right, these are the three that pulled up. You see the file date 11/24/1998. The case status disposed. Let's see if we can't get into a few of these. Now, it said the disposition is guilty. So, I mean, he did make a plea agreement. So, in order to make the plea agreement, you had to plead guilty. But what it was, he wound up pleading guilty to a lesser charge. So, he's not on the ex-offender registry. Because I think it was, this is the charge that he got stuck with. The contributing to a minor. Okay? But because the mother kept her daughter away, like nothing, they couldn't get anything going with these other charges. They had to plea him to something lesser. Let's look at this one. What is the ABC law, y'all? Huh. I gotta look that up. And you see, it says guilty, bench trial. I think this is the minor one. I saw another one where it says, Yeah, but that's what he wound up eventually pleading to, is contributing to a minor. Everything else besides that ABC thing, I don't even know what that is. I gotta look it up. Minor possession of beer. That is the only thing. And it's sad because you could tell this young lady is suffering currently to this day. Like, you don't just stop hurting when you've been violated in that manner. Like, you have constant reminders, because I know I do. I have constant reminders. But I try to look at the good that did come out of it. My baby. Let me see. Okay, Charlamagne eventually pled guilty. This is my notes, y'all. Charlamagne eventually pled guilty to a lesser charge. That charge was contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The charge related to alcohol being present at a party where underage individuals were drinking. He was sentenced to 3 years of probation. Okay? Let's see what else I got here. So a lot of people in this community remember that situation. We don't respect him. We don't hold him up here. He's not like, oh my God, I know Charlamagne. No one we don't know him. We're not related to him. I don't know who he is. But that's the attitude that we have in South Carolina because we are familiar with this story. We know what has happened. And even though the DNA could not pinpoint anyone, it did show that she was violated. And I do believe drugs were found in her system. I think it was GHB that was found, and I was looking for it because I had all that information at one time. But, I can't keep it so much on my phone. At the end of the day, the legal case is unfortunately closed, but the conversation surrounding it never really ended, and it shouldn't. Some people believe the justice system failed this victim. Others believe the investigation cleared Charlamagne. I feel like the mother and the investigation, I feel like everyone around this young lady failed her. Okay? Before the fame, before the national platform, before the millions of listeners, there was a little story in Berkeley County that people here still remember. And decades later, people are still asking the same questions. What really happened that night at Short Stay? I think Jessica Reed spoke loud and clear. You all have a good night. Make sure you like, share, comment. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit that notification bell, set it to all so you be notified anytime I go live, upload, or premiere. Please be kind to one another and believe people when they speak. Good night.
No need to see viral stories and crime stories so bleak, leaving you hooked for weeks, exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals all exposed to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell so right. The monarchy reigns, it rules the game. Become a member, don't be late. Every story I claim the frame. Truth and fire is my name. Exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals I'll expose to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell